It's post time for the first race. The 2-year-old trotters are moving in behind the gate. First race of the evening, the Atlantic Sire Stakes for 2-year-old trotters. For a purse of $5,000 has Princetown Kelly, Campbell's Buddy, White Breeze, Maple Leaf Gentry, Tough Revenge, and AJ's Pickles. They're off and trotting. Tough Revenge getting the first call. Up on the outside is AJ's Pickles to get away second. In along the inside and trotting out in 3 as they head by the opening 8th is Campbell's Buddy. Trotting up on the limb, that is White Breeze in 4. 5th along the inside is Princetown Kelly. And 6th and trailing in the early going is Maple Leaf Gentry. They move down the backstretch on their way to the opening quarter. Out front and trotting on the lead, that is Tough Revenge, clear by 4 lengths. Trying to tighten up now second is AJ's Pickles. Then next in line is Campbell's Buddy trotting along at 3rd. Taking a look in 4, White Breeze. Then Princetown Kelly has 5. And trailing the field is Maple Leaf Gentry. They were past the quarter in 31 and 3/5 seconds. The 2-year-old trotters head off the top turn and approach the half. They're up front and continue to be led by Tough Revenge. Still there 4 lengths on AJ's Pickles as they check into the halfway point. Tough Revenge, AJ's Pickles, they continue to trot 1-2. And at 3rd is Campbell's Buddy. Along in 4, that's Princetown Kelly. Back trotting in 5, White Breeze, and Maple Leaf Gentry is the 6th one. No change in positions as they head for the backside final time. They've trotted the half in 1:04 and 2/5 seconds. They move over to 3/4. It's all Tough Revenge still out there on a commanding lead as they head to 3/4. Trotting along second is AJ's Pickles, now up on the outside. And gaining ground now 3rd is Princetown Kelly. They move into the turn, and with the lead, Tough Revenge. Princetown Kelly is now 2nd. Along the inside, 3rd, AJ's Pickles. Moving out in 4, that's Campbell's Buddy. They were by 3/4 in 1:37 and 1/5 second. They move off the top turn and straighten out through the lane as they come for the final time. Princetown Kelly as they drive to the lane. Here they come to the finish. Princetown Kelly. And it will be Princetown Kelly to win the first race. Atlantic Sire Stake 2-year-old trot. It's close for second between Tough Revenge and Campbell's Buddy. Now back in victory lane, the first race winner, Lennox Irish Stake 2-year-old trot event, number 1, Princetown Kelly. The bay colt by Bannister. Owned by Robert Donald, Hollis Newsom, Earl Watts, and Kelly Watts. Trained and driven by Sheldon Watts. Mile for Princetown Kelly in 2:11 and 2/5. Victory Lane making the cooler presentation on behalf of the Atlantic Standardbred Breeders Association, Mr. Earl Skirman. Here is the official result of the first race. Number 1, Princetown Kelly, the winner. 2, Campbell's Buddy was second. 3, White Breeze finishing 6th. 4, Maple Leaf Gentry 5th. 5, Tough Revenge 3rd. And 6, AJ's Pickles was 4th. 31 and 3 the quarter, half in 104 and 2, 3/4 in 137 and 1, the mile 2:11 and 2/5. In review from the top, 1, 2, 6, 5, 3, 4. Triactor in the first race, 1, 2, 5. It returned $183 even. The Quinola at $49.10. Upcoming in the second race, Atlantic Irish Stake 3-year-old trot. There are no changes. Post time for the second in less than 11 minutes. The entries are now entering the track for the second race of the evening. Atlantic Irish Stake 3-year-old trot event for a purse of $5,000. From post 1, Rustico Delight gets Gary Chappell for John Pino. Ronnie Gass is the owner and driver of number 2, Dusty Lane Cody. Princetown Wendy from post 3, Orville Willis and Glyden Willis with Gary McDonald in charge. Mike Downey aboard number 4, Gigi's Girl for Mel Land. David Tierney and Paul McDonald, the owners of 5, Dusty Lane Jenna, Paul McDonald driving. Barney McGuigan aboard 6, Mr. John S. for Duncan McKay. Post time for the second race trot in 6 minutes.
Didn't like the second or third class, but he's very competitive in there. I think he'll be competitive here for sure.
He's been racing against some tough horses. Scott and I mentioned right off the top that 3 maritime breds are included in this field of 7 that we have for tonight. What does that say about the quality of horses that are being produced here in the Maritimes?
Well, it's definitely much better. Like even being in Montreal, the horses they send you now, the maritime bred ones seem to be. Well, for sure they're better horses than they used to be. The breed's come a long way, especially like that run, like that drop-off there. He has a lot of nice horses, you know, and they seem to be able to race against the better horses up country.
Mike mentions drop-off. He is the sire of Woodmere Jet and also Woodmere Top Cat, who is also competing in tonight's feature race. Mike, do you go into a race like tonight with a game plan? You've got the rail position. Do you get a vision in your mind of how the race might go before you start?
Well, no, not really. When you get to rail, you know, I mean, that's a bonus, but I mean, you know, sometimes it's different tracks, it's not as good. Like, I don't know, here the rail seems to help you a little because, you know, the turn comes so quick, and if you can leave good, you can usually get, you know, position pretty good off the rail. If you have the outside, it's a long way to, you know, it's a long way to ground the horses that are inside, and some tracks aren't quite like that, but I mean, this one here is, like I say, the rail is a little advantage, but you still have to get the job done after that, you know. It's certainly a help.
You obviously enjoy coming back home to the Maritimes to compete in a lot of these big races. Why is that so important for you?
Well, I'm from Charlottetown there, and I always stay in touch with everybody in the Maritimes, you know, and I love the Maritimes. I mean, and I've been coming here now, like back home, like for 25 years. I moved to Quebec 25 years ago, but I come back every summer, and I really enjoy it. My family looks forward to coming back here, you know, for a couple of weeks. But now it's a little more difficult. So you have to keep going back and forth, but it's, you know, it's probably it's the highlight of our year, you know, for me and my family.
Well, that's good to know. Great to have you back always, because the horses that you bring to the invitational circuit are always very, very competitive, and I know that fans across the Maritimes really look forward to seeing you here. Good luck tonight in the Exhibition Cup.
Thank you very much.
That's Mike McDonald. He'll be driving Woodmere Jet from the rail in tonight's Nova Scotia Provincial Exhibition Cup in race number 14. You've got just about 2 minutes to post time in race number 2, and we'll have a look at Scott Kane's selections and mine here for another division of trotters in the Atlantic Sire Stakes.
Along in 2 as they make their way off the top turn, 31 seconds flat. That was the opening quarter. They trot in front of the grandstand first time as they approach the half. Princetown Wendy is your leader. Now reopening to a 3-length advantage. Along the inside is Mr. John S. second. Staying in third is Rustico Delight. Moving out, Dusty Lane Jenna in 4. 5 is Gigi's Girl. And trotting at the back of the field as they race on past the 5/8 is Dusty Lane Cody, but they're still led by Princetown Wendy. Now widening her advantage to some 5 open lengths. Off stride second is Mr. John S. They move on to 3/4, the half in 102 flat. They move to 3/4. It's all Princetown Wendy. A clear lead now of some 10 open lengths along the inside, and emerging now second is Rustico Delight. On the outside, trotting third, Dusty Lane Jenna. Back trotting is Mr. John S. in 4. Well back to Dusty Lane Cody 5, and off stride is Gigi's Girl. They were by 3/4 in 1:33. It's all Princetown Wendy. An insurmountable lead as they move off the top turn and through the lane for the final time. Rustico Delight is trotting along in 2, but the second race, Atlantic Sire Stake 3-year-old trot event, will go to Princetown Wendy, winning it convincingly. Second here is Rustico Delight. Up for third after an early costly break was Dusty Lane Cody. Back in victory lane, the winner of the Atlantic Sire Stake 3-year-old trot event, number 3, Princetown Wendy, the filly by Armbro Input, out of the Arndon Dam Gold Pendant, won by Orville Willis, Glyden Willis, and Mel Willis, trained by Glyden Willis, and catch-driven to victory by Gary McDonald. Princetown Wendy trotting to a new life's mark of 2:05 3/5. Victory Lane making the Cuda presentation on behalf of the Atlantic Standardbred Breeders Association, their president, Earl Skirman.
We're trackside with Mel Willis. He's one of the owners of the horse Princetown Wendy that just picked up a win in Atlantic Sire Stakes action. Mel, tell me, if you can, a little bit about this filly. She's given you a few thrills as a 2-year-old, now looks to be developing quite well as a 3-year-old.
Yes, we had a hard time with this filly when she was a 2-year-old. She used to tie up on us a lot, but my brother got her straightened out. But she's really trotting good now. Every time she trots a little stronger.
Now, you've owned pacers before. Do you like getting into the trot game?
Oh, I'm a trotter. I like a trotter. I mean, nothing like a trotter. Nothing.
She's been tremendous. Mel also, of course, has a share in a horse who will be here tomorrow afternoon. And we'll also have that for you here on the satellite network as well. That's Island Storm, of course, and he has missed a couple of starts recently. Mel, tell me how he's coming together.
He's missed 3 starts. He's had the virus very badly. We just don't know how good he'll be tomorrow because he's be a little short, but we're taking those chances.
And you've come down from Ontario. You've told me that you're going to spend much of the summer here following your horses?
My wife and I left home on June the 6th, and we aren't going back till October the 19th when Stormy Sue races.
So that's dedication to harness racing.
That's right.
Mel Willis, thanks very much for your contribution here tonight, and congratulations with Princetown Wendy.
Thank you, sir.
There is the official rundown from the second race. Number 1, Rustico Delight finished second. 2, Dusty Lane Cody third. 3, Princetown Wendy the winner. 4, Gigi's Girl was sixth. 5, Dusty Lane Jana fourth. 6, Mr. John S. fifth. The quarter, 31 seconds, half in 1:02. 3/4 in 1:33 in the mile. A new life's best for Princetown Wendy, 2:05 3/5. From the top down, your card reads 2, 3, 1, 6, 4, 5. Triactor in the second race, 3-1-2. It returned $278.50. The Quinola at $61.50. The fillies have entered the track and are now parading for the third race. Atlantic Sire Stake 3-year-old pacing filly B division from post 1, Spring Freedom, is owned by Gerald Alexander with Bernard McCollum driving. Ken McDonald for Brian McLeod aboard number 2, Fernhill Jill. Living in a moment from post 3, we'll have Danny Romo driving for owner Janice Hubbard. Wathen Piers owns 4, Island Stacy with Emmons McKay at the helm. Dave Carey partnering 5, Nicely Laced for Thane Ellis. Lonnie Stokes will pilot from post 6, Reason to Cheer for Charlie Seymour. Naomi Graves owns 7, Waterside Babe. Note the driver change to Ken Arsenault. And from the outside, post 8, NS Calypso has Robert Laughlin in the seat for owner Bill Turner. Post time for the third race is in 6 minutes.
Scott Kane at trackside. Scott, a couple of exciting trot races there. Princetown Wendy winning for Gary McDonald, and also Sheldon Watts gets his first ever Atlantic Sire Stakes victory. And if you're watching at Fredericton Raceway tonight, that's pretty nifty for Sheldon, and you can bet that he's very, very happy.
I would imagine Sheldon would be pretty excited. I would think so.
Scott, it's pretty tough to beat those veteran horsemen. Sheldon obviously showing a lot of patience with that colt. How important do you feel that is?
Oh, it's very important, especially with trotters. And then Gary McDonald comes right back out. And, of course, we all know Gary's been around for a long, long while. Not a number of years, but a lot of drives.
Right now, we're going back to the Pacers before we return with two more trot divisions in races 4 and 5. Here in race number 3, I know you've got your eye on a horse from the third post position. And I'm looking at the lines on this horse, Scott. Tell me a little bit about your handicapping philosophy here. What kind of difference do the fractions make when you're looking at a horse's past performance lines?
Well, it certainly makes a difference if you've got a horse that can leave and you can get him to the front and get the next quarter in a little bit slower. And some horses like to race off the front, but when you're handicapping, if you can look and see a horse that's come in his last half better than his first half and can finish and gain lengths through the stretch, you got to keep your eye on those kind of horses for sure. This horse looks like it.
You like the 3 horse a little bit in here?
I like the 3 to win it. I like Fernhill Jill, the 2 horse for second, and I'm going to go with a long shot for the 3rd horse, NS Calypso. I think that breed is going to show up here very soon, and I hope Billy Turner has some luck here.
And if you're keeping score at home right now, it's 1 win for Chris, and for Scott, he hasn't got a win quite yet, but we're sure that he's going to come through here soon.
Hopefully. We got 14, so maybe I'll get 1.
Good luck with your selections here in the 3rd race.
Race number 3 of the evening, Atlantic Sire Stake 3-year-old pacing filly B division for a purse of $1,800 has Spring Freedom, Fernhill Jill, Living in a Moment, Island Stacy, Nicely Laced, Reason to Cheer, Waterside Babe, and NS Calypso. They're off and pacing with Reason to Cheer. Off the gate quickly from the outside. On the inside, Spring Freedom, along with Island Stacy, those out vying for the early lead. Island Stacy quickly takes charge. Second along the inside, that is Spring Freedom driving up on the limb. Nicely Laced has 3. Along the inside, Fernhill Jill is pacing in 4. Parked out and racing 5 as they continue down the backstretch is Reason to Cheer. Then along the inside in 6, that is Living in a Moment. Next in line from 7, that is Waterside Babe, and NS Calypso is the early trailer. They continue into the turn, and out of the 3/8, 30 seconds flat was the opening quarter. And Stacy out front is showing the way, leading it by 3 parts of a length. As they move off the top turn, Island Stacy is dictating the pace. Nicely Laced, parked on the outside as they round the top turn and approach the halfway point. On the front end, leading it by a length, is Island Stacy outside and going the overland route from second. That is Nicely Laced. In the pocket is Spring Freedom racing 3rd, parked out but covered up in 4. That is Reason to Cheer. 5th along the inside, and hemmed in as they move on to the 5/8 is Fernhill Jill. A 3rd over 6th is Living in a Moment. They move on to the backstretch now, final time, and still holding the lead by half a length is Island Stacy, the half in 1:02. They move on to 3/4, and out there 3 wide now as they approach 3/4 is Reason to Cheer. Moving on to engage Island Stacy. On the inside, Spring Freedom will need racing room 3rd. Going 4 deep is Living in a Moment 5th. Now 3rd, 2nd, and driving after the leader. They head out of the 7/8. It's Island Stacy now being pursued by Living in a Moment on the inside 3rd. That is Spring Freedom. Less than an 8 to come as they head off the top turn. Still holding the lead is Island Stacy, trying to close in on the outside. Living in a Moment, Spring Freedom on the inside will try to hold on to 3rd. Down the lane they come. Island Stacy on the outside. Living in a Moment. Island Stacy, Living in a Moment up in the final few strides to collar Island Stacy. 3rd, NS Calypso. Back in the winner's enclosure, the third race winner, Atlantic Sire Stake 3-year-old pacing filly B division. Number 3, Living in a Moment. The bay daughter of Rowley Hanover, out of the escort dam Thankful Hanover. Owned and trained by Janice Hubbard of St. John, New Brunswick, and driven to victory by Danny Romo. Living in a Moment, pacing in 2:05 and 4/5. Earl Sherman in Victory Lane making the cooler presentation on behalf of the Atlantic Standardbred breeders. Here is the complete rundown for the third race. Number 1, Spring Freedom, finished 4th. 2, Fernhill Jill was 7th. 3, Living in a Moment, your race winner. 4, Island Stacy, 2nd. 5, Nicely Laced was 6th. 6, Reason to Cheer, 8. 7, Waterside Babe, 5th. And 8, NS Calypso, finishing 3rd. The quarter, 30 seconds. The half in 1:02. 3/4 in 1:34 and 1. The mile in 2:05 and 4/5. The top down, your card reads 471 268 53. Triactor 348 returned $208.70. The Quinola 2710. Daily double combination 3-3 returned $9.90. Upcoming in the fourth race, the 2-year-old trotters. There are no program changes. Fourth race post time in 10 minutes. Entries are on the track and parading for the fourth race of the evening. Atlantic Sire Stakes 2-year-old trot event for a purse of $5,000. Number 1 is Maple Leaf Gem, owned and driven by Ralph Anir. Norman Clary and Joe Smallwood, the owners. Joe drives from post 2. Corny. Call Me Easy from post 3 gets Raymond White for Stanley White. Myron Ford, John McGilvery, and Lawrence Austin are the owners of 4. Rustigo Hyakotake, Von Doyle driving. Trademark Crown from post 5 has Earl Smith at the lines for owner Tom McPherson. Holy Samoli from post 6. David O'Brien will steer for Cliff Aflack. And from post 7, Salzburg Lighting is owned by Alir Pino. C.R. Kennedy, Alir will drive. Post time for the fourth race in 7 minutes.
Go time, eh?
Danny Romo getting the job done. And Scott, you said it exactly when you were analyzing those fractions for Living in a Moment. She showed a pretty good trip in her last start. The first half was in 1:02 and the mile in 2:02. And so that finishing kick that we saw from her on the backstretch proved you right.
She certainly got in gear down the backside and came out 4 wide there, and Danny did a tremendous job with her too, really.
He did, and so a win for Janice Hubbard in the B division of the Atlantic Sire Stakes. As well tonight, we want to welcome everyone who's on board on our broadcast, and we're very pleased that we could present not only this program to you here this evening, but also tomorrow afternoon at 1 o'clock. We'll be on the air again from Truro Raceway with a 16-dash program. For folks in Inverness tomorrow, you will have your live races, and then you will pick up the remaining races from here at Truro. And what about Inverness, Scott? They had a huge bet last weekend. There seems to be a resurgence in harness racing in Cape Breton.
Well, there certainly is, and Inverness is certainly holding their own. They've got a good man on board there. Al Chisholm does a great job down there. I've known Al for a number of years, and the horsemen are very cooperative down there, and they've got lots of volunteers, and they're doing a big job, and we want to watch it here. We've got to do our job.
That's right. Here in the fourth race coming up, we're back to the trotters again. How do you see this one coming together?
Well, I've looked this card over, and Ralph Anier seems to have a lot of... he's always had some luck in the past with trotters. He's a good trot man, and I'm going to give him the nod here. Number 1, Maple Leaf Gem. In the place spot, I'm going to go with the number 6 entry, Holy Somoli. And for the show spot, I'll go with that one that's hard to say, Rustico, Hayakutake.
That's not quite right, I don't think.
I don't know.
I was told Hayakataki, but I'm not sure.
Whatever it is.
I'm going to go out on a limb, so this is a chance for Scott to catch up with me here in the handicapping department. I like Joey Smallwood out of the 2-hole. He hasn't raced since the 15th of July, but you can bet with the veteran expertise that Joey has, he's got this horse tuned up a little bit. Shows his last mile finishing second in 2:13 and a piece, and I do like Joey here to win this race. I'm going to go as well with the 1 horse, which Scott has selected to win, Ralph Anier's Maple Leaf Gem, and I'll throw in Holy Somoli as well here for 3rd, so we'll see how this all comes together. You're kind of enjoying these trot races.
Well, I really enjoy trotters. I always did. I had a lot of trotters myself, and I really enjoy them, and I'm going to catch up to you this time.
Okay, we'll take that as gospel right there. That's from Scott Kane. Enjoy the 4th race, and we'll be back after the post parade for race 5.
It's 4th race post time. The 2-year-old trotters are moving in behind the wings of the gate. Race number 4, top of the stretch, Atlantic Sire Stake 2-year-old trot event for a purse of $5,000 has Maple Leaf Gem, Corny, Call Me Easy, Rustico, Hayakatake, Trademark Crown, Holy Somoli, and Salzburg Lighting. They're off and trotting. Holy Somoli moving out with Rustico, Hayakatake. Those two trotting out, looking for the early lead as they move into the first turn. Now grabbing a seat in 3 as they move by the opening 8th is Trademark Crown. Back trotting in 4 is Maple Leaf Gem. Next in line from 5 as they continue on to the opening quarter is Call Me Easy. Then back in 6 for Salzburg Lighting, and trailing the field by the opening quarter is Corny. They continue into the turn, approaching the 3/8. Rustico, Hayakatake with the lead by 2 lengths. Holy Somoli is trotting along in 2, tightening up 3rd now. That is Trademark Crown. They've trotted the opening quarter in at 30 and 1/5 second into 4 as they round the top turn is Maple Leaf Gem. Now moving up on the outside is Corny in 5. Back in 6 as they round the top turn is Call Me Easy. They move up past the halfway point. Rustico, Hayakatake with the lead. Still there by 2 lengths. On number 6, Holy Somoli. Now a closer 3rd is Trademark Crown. Into contention is Maple Leaf Gem from 4. Then a gap of 5 lengths. Back to Corny, who's gaining ground in 6. In 7 is Call Me Easy, moving to the outside from the back, Salzburg Lighting. They were past the half in 1:02 and 4. The 2-year-olds head down the backstretch on their way to 3/4. Rustico, Hayakatake still there by 2 lengths. Now a challenge on the outside from Maple Leaf Gem. They check in at 3/4. Maple Leaf Gem is moving on now to engage Rustico, Hayakatake. Maple Leaf Gem has taken over the lead. Rustico, Hayakatake is 2nd, moving off the rail 3rd. That is Trademark Crown. 1:35 and 3 was the 3/4. They head past the 7/8. Maple Leaf Gem trotting off now to a 4-length lead on the outside, and moving 2nd is Trademark Crown. Through the lane they come for the final time. It's Maple Leaf Gem. 2nd on the outside is Trademark Crown, but Maple Leaf Gem trots to victory in the 4th race, turning back Trademark Crown and Rustico, Hayakatake. Back in victory lane is the 4th race winner, the Atlantic Sire Stake 2-year-old trot event, number 1 Maple Leaf Gem, the Bay Filly by Elaborate Dream, out of the Noble Master Dam, Maple Leaf Arnett. Owned, trained, and driven a victory by Ralph Adair. Maple Leaf Gem trotting in 2:08 and 4/5. Earl Skirman, president of the Atlantic Standardbred Breeders, in victory lane, making the cooler presentation. There is the rundown from the 4th race. Number 1, Maple Leaf Gem, your race winner. 2, Corny was 4th. 3, Call Me Easy, finishing 7th. 4, Rustico Hayakutaki was 3rd. 5, Trademark Crown 2nd. 6, Holy Samoli was 5th. 7, Salisbury Lighting finished 6th. The quarter, 30 and 1. The half in 102 and 4. 3 quarters in 135 and 3, in the mile in 208 and 4/5. In review from the top, 147. 3256. Triactor 154 returned 425.80. Quinola at 68.40. Upcoming in the 5th race, the 2nd division of the Atlantic Sire Stakes for 3-year-old trotters. There are no program changes in race 5. It's the first leg of the Win 4. Entries are now entering the track for the 5th race of the evening. It's the first leg of the Win 4 Atlantic Sire Stake 3-year-old trot event for a purse of $5,000. From post 1 is Margate Girl. Lear Pino will drive for Don Casely. First of Ken from post 2 gets Von Doyle for Gary Ramsey. Ronnie Gas for Shelley Gas aboard number 3, Dusty Lane Tasha. Brookridge Gold Star from post 4 is owned by Louise Beaton. Earl Smith drives. The 5 is Maple Leaf Friday, owned and will be driven by Ralph Adair. And the 6 is Captain Stretch. Kenny Arsenault driving for Ralph Cole. Post time for the 5th race, the first leg of the Win 4 in 6 minutes.
Back trackside again, Chris Connor along with Scott Kane, and just some tremendous trot action here so far tonight, but also some of the best pacers from around the Maritimes coming up later on, Scott, with more Atlantic Sire Stakes action. The Exhibition Cup is a race that we're looking forward to as well, but in race number 7 tonight, this is one tremendous backup class that Race Secretary Joe Kelly has put together.
Certainly has, and they'll go right around 56, 57 in that class, and it's up for grabs as to who's going to win it. It's a 7-horse field, and I think anybody can win it.
Mr. Rood is a horse that finished 2nd in the McCain Memorial last week in Woodstock, and so you know that when you've got a horse who's been as competitive as he has over this summer, this is definitely a race that's going to be very fun to watch.
It certainly should. There's going to be some good front-end action on it, too. Little horse that Kenny St. John just imported here, Kelly Chameleon. He'll get off the gate good, and there's going to be lots of front-end action here. It could be a real good mile.
Coming up here in the 5th race, the last division of trotters for tonight's program, and these are 3-year-olds. Scott, how do you see this race playing out?
Well, I'm going to go right here with the number 4 horse, Brook Ridge Gold Star. Earl Smith, he's been around this game for a long while, had his share of luck for sure, both with pacers and with trotters, and I'm going to give him the nod. I'll go with the Dusty Lane Tasha for the play spot, and for the 3rd one, I'll go with Margate Girl.
Margate Girl off the rail for Lear Pino.
That's right. Belair's had his share of luck with trotters for sure.
Has he ever? I'm going to go with Scott on this occasion. Brook Ridge Gold Star is a horse that I like as well. He's by balance of trade. Certainly a proven stallion. 4 trotters here in the Maritimes, and Earl Smith did so well with him in Woodstock last week that I'm going to stick with him again. And I'll differ from Scott just a little bit. First of Ken is a horse that I like for Von Doyle. You look down his lines, and when trotters come along, always important for them to be able to maintain their stride. And this horse has only got 1 X on his program in his last 8 starts. So that's why I like him for his consistency. That's First of Ken, the 2 horse. And I'll go back to Ralph Anir again for the show spot, Maple Leaf Friday. Ralph picking up the big victory in that last race, and I'll look for him to have a little bit more success. Talk about trot guys. You mentioned Lear Pino, but Ralph Anir is a man that has been a standout.
Well, he showed that just the last heat here, and Ralph Anir winning with that 2-year-old filly right there, and a terrific time, 2:08. And once again, we're even, you know.
I wasn't going to mention that, but
I knew you weren't.
You did get that win in the last race, so I have to give you a little bit of credit. Thanks, Scott. Good luck with your selections. We'll give you another look at our picks here in the 5th race.
We're down to 3 minutes to 5th race post time. Race 5, the first leg of the win 4. Post time in 3 minutes. Last call for wagering. You're down to 1 minute. Last call. post time. The entries are lining up behind the gate. Race number 5, top of the stretch, Atlantic Sire Stake, 3-year-old trot for a purse of $5,000. Has Margate Girl, First of Ken, Dusty Lane Tasha, Brook Ridge Gold Star, Maple Leaf Friday, and Captain Stretch. They're off and trotting. Brook Ridge Gold Star quickly off the gate, along with Dusty Lane Tasha. Those two out battling for the early lead as they move into the first turn. Getting away in 3 as they head by the opening 8th. That is First of Ken. Then back at the rail and settling out in 4 is Margate Girl. Away in the 5 spot as they head to the opening quarter is Maple Leaf Friday. And treading the field, that is Captain Stretch. They move down the backstretch, making their way past the opening quarter. And out front, leading the way by 1 length, that is Dusty Lane Tasha. Trotting along in 2 is Brook Ridge Gold Star. Closing the gap First of Ken is 3. Margate Girl in 4. Up into 5 is Captain Stretch and Maple Leaf Friday. The quarter was in 30 seconds flat. The 3-year-old trotters around the top turn, entering the stretch first time as they approach the half, and still trotting on the front end. That is Dusty Lane Tasha, leading it by 3 parts of a length. Now pulling the pocket is Brook Ridge Gold Star, moving alongside a challenge for the lead. Also up and moving, gapped in the cover is Margate Girl 3rd. Inside, First of Ken is 4th. Back in 5 is Captain Stretch, and 6th and treading is Maple Leaf Friday. They were past the half in 1:02 and 3. They enter the backside final time, and it's still Dusty Lane Tasha holding the lead by half a length. Brook Ridge Gold Star up on the outside. Now sticking a nose in front. Brook Ridge Gold Star on the outside. At the rail is Dusty Lane Tasha trying to turn back that challenge as they move on to the 7/8. They've opened up 5 lengths on the 3rd place trotter Margate Girl. 1:33 and 2 was the 3/4. They head past the 7/8. Those two trotters battling on the front end. On the inside, Dusty Lane Tasha is holding dead game against Brook Ridge Gold Star as they head off the top turn and straighten out for the payoff. Dusty Lane Tasha on the inside, Brook Ridge Gold Star on the outside. Their noses apart as they drive to the payoff. Dusty Lane Tasha battling back gamely on the inside to hold off Brook Ridge Gold Star. Finishing 3rd is Captain Stretch. Back in victory lane, the winner of the 5th race, Atlantic Sire Stake 3-year-old trot event, number 3, Dusty Lane Tasha. The brown filly by Forceful Revenge out of the dam Katie Dillon, owned by Shelley Gass of Cornwall PEI, trained by Stephen Gass and driven by Ronnie Gass. Dusty Lane Tasha trotting to a new life's mark of 2:04 and 4/5. Earl Skirman and Victory Lane making the cooler presentation to Dusty Lane Tasha and Connections, the winner of the 2nd division of the Atlantic Sire Stakes for 3-year-old trotters in 2:04 and 4/5. The official rundown from the 5th race. Number 1, Margate Girl 4th. 2, First of Can 6th. 3, Dusty Lane Tasha the winner. 4, Brookridge Gold Star was 2nd. 5, Maple Leaf Friday 5th. And 6, Captain Stretch was 3rd. 30 seconds the quarter. Half 1:02 and 3. 3/4 in 1:33 and 2 in the mile 2:04 and 4/5. A new life's mark for Dusty Lane Tasha. In review from the top, 4-6-1, 2-5-3. Upcoming in race 6, A division of the 3-year-old pacing fillies. There are no changes. Only 11 minutes to post. The entries are now on the track and parading for race number 6 of the evening. Atlantic Sire Stake 3-year-old pacing filly A division for a purse of $6,500. From post 1 is I Love Tequila. Norris Rogers driving for owners Dale Sobey, Walter Simmons, and John Coffey. Dixie McKay, the owner of 2, Call Her Nightly, with Emmons McKay at the lines. Mike Downey driving Burton Bell from post 3 for owners Doug and Ron Hildebrand. The 4 is Miss Flamingo 2, John Rochford, Linda Shepard Rochford, and Linda Northern, the owners. Danny Romo will do the driving. Rod Jameson at the helm of 5, Clonmel Cami for Sean Dooley. Number 6 is Katie's Match, Omahalis Newsom. Kenny Arsenault will steer. And from the outside, post 7, Herb Holland has Hillview Chelsea for Lauren Grant. 6th race post time in less than 6 minutes.
We're trackside now with Bert McQuaid, is with the Harness Racing Division of Atlantic Lottery. And Bert, I know you're very, very happy to have this broadcast tonight to all of the maritime racetracks. Tell me what it means to the harness racing industry to have this type of event broadcast all of those tracks.
Well, Chris, what it means is that we can show the best products that we have to offer all over the Maritimes, and indeed we're going to Newfoundland tomorrow afternoon with the live card for the 3-year-old pacing colts. And of course, it'll give us an opportunity, marketing-wise, that when we develop this product here, why we might be able to broadcast our product not only throughout Atlantic Canada, but send it up country to Quebec and Ontario and maybe throughout Canada.
And you'll have tomorrow's card starting with a 1 o'clock post time, of course, for 16 races tomorrow, including the 3-year-old colts and the Atlantic Sire Stakes. Some of these colts and fillies are going for some great money.
Yes, they are. When we got involved, the Atlantic Lottery Corporation, that is this year, we made the minimum for the ace colts at $6,500. As of course, as you see here tonight, the trotters are racing for a minimum purse of $5,000, and of course the 2-year-olds race for a minimum purse of $6,000. So we're happy to be able to offer good purse money for the colts, and of course the sales coming up in the fall, and we know that people are going to be interested in buying them. And of course, 2 races ago when we had those trotters, they bet over $7,000 in that race alone. So by getting this product out throughout the Maritimes and indeed in Newfoundland and hopefully across the country, wager will increase, and that's what pays for the sport.
And I understand that you also have some plans after tomorrow to also broadcast some of the special events from the Charlottetown Driving Park.
Yes, we're very excited about Old Home Week this year, and of course it starts next Saturday night. We have the first trials, and we're negotiating right now. We're hopeful to have the trial 1 up and trial 2, and of course with 45 horses eligible so far, and any horse eligible if they pay $2,000, why we may have 3 or 4 trials, and that'll be not only interesting, but it's going to make for some great racing.
There's a real buzz about that race, Bert. They're going for $50,000 in the final?
Yes, we've guaranteed the final for the Gold Cup and Sausage here at $50,000. And of course, we have some great horses entered, and one of them, of course, is Stout. Stout comes from the famous Bill Robinson stable, and this horse has paced better than 150 this year already, and he's got over $1 million earned. So it's a different race, though, when you're down here in Atlantic Canada with our horses, and our horses aren't going to take a back seat to these horses. But what it means is that we're going to offer some of the best racing horses in the world are going to come to Charlottetown to race in the Gold Cup and Coster this year.
And do you think that that could have an effect on, I guess, the way that maritime racing is seen in other parts of the country?
Well, I certainly hope so, because if we can offer this top-class racing, that's going to give us an opportunity to export our product throughout the country. And of course, if they bet on our product throughout the country, we get a portion of that wager, and that's going to be turned back into the industry, because it's a great industry, Chris, and we want to foster it, we want to make it grow, we want to develop it. We've only been here since March the 4th, but we have big plans, and all we need is the cooperation of everyone throughout Atlantic Canada to come out and support your local harness racing, have some fun, bet on it, and you might win some money.
Bert, I know that you're really excited about the Nova Scotia Provincial Exhibition Cup tonight, and that's coming up in race 14, of course. Another division of 3-year-old fillies right here, and the A division with Miss Flamingo 2 is coming right up, and thanks very much for joining us tonight.
You're welcome, Chris.
That's Bert McQuaid with the Harness Racing Division of Atlantic Lottery, and we'll show you race number 6 coming up in just about 2 minutes' time.
I Love Tequila, Call Her Nightly, Birdton Bell, Miss Flamingo 2, Clonmel Cami, Katie's Match, and Hillview Chelsea. They're off and pacing with Birdton Bell getting the first call. Moving out is Call Her Nightly to challenge for the early lead. Off stride, there goes Birdton Bell. Up on the limb, that's Miss Flamingo 2. Driving on now, looking to take charge as they enter the backstretch for time 1. Miss Flamingo 2 moves on to grab the lead. Yielding to race second is Call Her Nightly. On the inside, I Love Tequila emerges in 3. Settled out 4th. That's Clonmel Cami back in 5. As they move to the opening quarter is Katie's Match. Then the 6th one away is Hillview Chelsea. And the early trailer after the break in the first turn is Birdton Bell. Single file fashion as the fillies approach the 3/8, 29 and 3/5 seconds. That was the opening quarter. As they move unchanged in positions off the top turn, Miss Flamingo 2 continues to dictate the pace. Call Her Nightly is getting a golden journey second. Next in line, I Love Tequila third. Clonmel Cami is peeking to the outside in 4. 5th and looking to the outside as they check in at the halfway point. That is number 6, Katie's Match. Then back in 7 for Hillview Chelsea. And back and trailing the field is Birdton Bell. They move on now to the 5/8, and up front it's Miss Flamingo 2 leading the field by a length, a half at a minute and 1/5 second. They enter the backstretch off stride there. When Katie's Match, as they move on to 3/4, it's still Miss Flamingo 2 going unchallenged, still leading it by a length. Call Her Nightly elects to stay in the pocket. Outside is Clonmel Cami, first up 3rd. On the inside, I Love Tequila is racing 4th. Then back in 5 is Katie's Match. They race on to the 7/8, and they're still led by Miss Flamingo 2. The lead now a length and a half. Call Her Nightly trying to stay with her second. Outside, Clonmel Cami 3rd. I Love Tequila along the inside. They straighten out for the stretch drive. 1:30 and 2 the 3/4. Miss Flamingo 2 widening the lead now to 3 open lengths. It will be Miss Flamingo 2 to win the 6th race. Closing up to finish second. That is I Love Tequila 3rd. Call Her Nightly. Now back in victory lane, the winner of the first A division of the 3-year-old pacing fillies, number 4, Miss Flamingo 2, the black daughter of Paris Dexter, is out of the Glen Cove Skipper Dam Dictatrice by John Ratchford, Linda Shepard Ratchford, and Linda Northern, trained by Monty Northern and driven by Danny Romo. Miss Flamingo 2, pacing in 2 minutes and 2/5. Earl Skirman down in victory lane to make the cooler presentation.
been pretty tough to catch throughout her career, with 14 wins and 16 starts last year, and now again this year she's picked up as a 3-year-old. You've got to be thrilled.
Oh, I am. It's not very often. You probably never get another one of those once in a lifetime. The disappointing part is going to the sale again and knowing you're not going to get the same thing. No, she's real good, and we're just lucky to have that. Very consistent. She's the same pretty near every race.
At what point in her career did you realize that you had a filly that was going to be that kind of quality?
Oh, I don't think we knew until we qualified her, and maybe not even then. Maybe the next start or two, the Lady Nora, she looked good. In the next race in Somerset, she was really good. Then we kind of knew then that she was a little different. Those who were driving were saying that anyway.
What do you look for when you go to a sale? People are going to be asking you that a lot after the success you've enjoyed with her.
Well, that particular one was second choice. And I didn't even look at her before the sale. I just looked at her in the ring, so that's real luck.
And Danny Romo has handled her extremely well. Tell me what you can about his abilities as a driver.
Well, Danny's one of the top drivers in the Maritimes, and he's married to my cousin. That's the only reason I'm getting him.
You're in good humor after a win. Congratulations to John Ratchford. 2 minutes and 2/5, the win for Miss Flamingo 2 tonight in the A division of the Atlantic Sire Stakes.
Here now is the official rundown from race 6. Number 1, I Love Tequila was second. 2, Call Her Nightly finished third. 3, Burton Bell was 7th. 4, Miss Flamingo 2, the winner. 5, Clonmel Cami 4th. 6, Katie's Match finished 5th, and 7, Hillview Chelsea was 6th. The fractions, 29 and 3. The half in a minute, 1/5. 3/4 in 1:30 and 2. The mile in 2 minutes and 2/5. In review from the top, 2-3-7, 1-4-5-6. Triactor 4-1-2 returned $35.60. The Quinola at $14.20. Upcoming in race 7, the preferred pace, number 1, All Talks Brother, has an additional line posted. All Talks Brother raced Thursday evening at Charlottetown Driving Park on a fast track. Winners over 14:51 last 6. All Talks Brother from post position 6 finished 5th. Beaten 4 lengths. Was timed in 1:59 and 3. The mile went in 1:58 and 4. The driver was David O'Brien. Post time for race 7 in approximately 15 minutes. Ladies and gentlemen, the official party has now arrived.
Good evening, harness racing fans throughout Atlantic Canada, and welcome to this very special night of harness racing and Exhibition Cup 11. The official party has just come out on trackside, and I'll take the opportunity to introduce them. On my far right, Mr. Len Morrissey, the area manager for the Canadian Parimutuel Agency. Next to Mr. Morrissey is Mr. Bert McWade, the Vice President of Harness Racing for the Atlantic Lottery Corporation. Next to Mr. McWade is the District 10 representative for the United States Trotting Association, Mr. Dave Pinkney and his wife Lorraine. The chairman of the Maritime Provinces Harness Racing Commission, and well-known figure in maritime harness racing, Sandy Fraser. The Deputy Warden for the municipality of the County of Colchester, Juanita Johnson. The MLA for Truro Bible Hill, Mr. Jamie Muir and his wife, Mary Jane. The Chairman of the Nova Scotia Provincial Exhibition Commission, Mr. Donald Cox. Representing the town of Truro, Councillor Peter Phipps. And next to him, a man who needs no introduction to this crowd, the Minister of Agriculture and Marketing for the province of Nova Scotia, the Honourable Edward Lorraine and his wife, Shirley. Ladies and gentlemen, your official party, let's give them a warm welcome. We'll now ask the piper, Mike Dupuy, to take the official party to the other side of the track so we can get on with the great harness racing program tonight.
Entries are now on the track and parading for the 7th race preferred pace. Going for a purse of $1,800 from post 1 is All Talk's Brother, owned by Joe McRae. David O'Brien will drive. Steve Mason will pilot from post 2. Bob's Bunny for owner Milton Downey. Number 3 is Mr. Rude, owned by Sandra Foley. Danny Romo in charge. Claire McDonald drives Kelly Chameleon from post 4 for owner Ken St. John. Lee Blakey, Don Smith, and Marcel Barrio are the owners of 5. Ornery Don, Phil Pinckney in the bike. And from post 6 is the final brat. Gordy Hennessy driving for owners Joyce Boucher and Edmund Gagnon. Post time for race 7 in less than 6 minutes. The 7th race preferred pacers are moving in behind the gate. It's post time. Seventh race preferred pace. Top of the stretch has All Talk's Brother, Bob's Bunny, Mr. Rude, Kelly Chameleon, Ornery Dawn, and the final brat. They're off and pacing. Quick off the wings of the gate is Kelly Chameleon. Down at the rail is All Talk's Brother. Those two firing off the gate alertly, looking for the early lead. Along the inside is All Talk's Brother, and he gains the top spot. Dropping in second, that is Mr. Rude. Outside Kelly Chameleon. Down at the rail, Bob's Bunny emerges third. Then back racing in 5 is Ornery Dawn, and 6th and trailing in the early going is the final brat. They make their way past the opening quarter. All Talk's Brother out front will dictate the pace. Leads Mr. Rude by a length and a half. On the inside, Bob's Bunny is next in line third. Holding down the 4 spot, that's Kelly Chameleon. Ornery Dawn, the first to sacrifice 5th, and that move will be followed by the final brat. They head off the top turn. Opening quarter was reached in 28 and 4/5 seconds. They move off the top turn and approach the half. Still out front, it's All Talk's Brother by a length and a half. Now driving up on the outside, Ornery Dawn first over is second. Mr. Rude stays in the pocket third. A second over toe for the final brat fourth. Fifth and shuffle back. At the rail is Bob's Bunny, and trailing is Kelly Chameleon. They were past the half in 59 and 2/5 seconds. They move on to the backside. Final time, All Talk's Brother is still in charge by a neck. Ornery Dawn on the outside is now on even terms as they move on to 3/4. Ornery Dawn on the outside, now sticking a neck in front. Down at the rail, All Talk's Brother trying to fight back second. Mr. Rude caught in the box third. Outside and racing, gapped in cover fourth is the final Brett, but Ornery Dawn is moving on and taking over the lead. Ornery Dawn now in charge by a length. All Talk's Brother giving chase second. Now with clearance is Mr. Rude, and he comes off the rail third. Along the inside, Kelly Chameleon is fourth. They straighten out for the stretch drive. 1:28 and 3 was 3/4. It's Ornery Dawn clear by 2.5, 3 lengths. They're not going to get to Ornery Dawn. He will prevail, finishing second. It's tight. We'll need a place pitcher. Now back in Victory Lane is the winner of the 7th race preferred pace, number 5 in your program, Ornery Dawn, a 4-year-old chestnut son of the Denman. Out of the elitist dam, Bradley Pond Nutmeg, Albany Blakey and Don Smith of Truro, and Marcel Berriot of Laval, Quebec, trained and driven by Phil Pinckney. Ornery Dawn pacing the mile in 1:57 and 2/5. The cooler in race 7, kindly donated by Maritimes and Northeast Pipeline. The right-away manager for Maritimes Northeast Pipelines, Mr. Bud Otis, in Victory Lane to make the cooler presentation to the winning entry, Ornery Dawn and Phil Pinckney in 1:57 and 2/5.
We're trackside with Dave Pinckney now, and his brother Phil has just driven Ornery Dawn to a super mile, 1:57.2 in the backup class tonight. That was a very competitive race, Dave. Do you find yourself cheering for Phil a little bit at times like that?
I sure was, because I qualified that horse for Phil. He was away, and I really liked him, and I thought the horse would pace in 57 or 58, the way he qualified, yeah.
He's another maritime-bred horse that has been very competitive against some really, really tough competitors. You look at Mr. Rood and that type of crew that he beat tonight, that's quite a credit to maritime breeding.
That sure is. That's a great credit for the maritime breeding. But first of all, I got to tell you about a little story about Scotty Kane. Scotty Kane had the horse. He thought it was the best horse in Sackville Downs. And he said, "Dave, will you drive him for me?" And I said, "Yeah, I'll drive him for you." So we were going up the backside, and the horse fell down. And I went past the horse going up the backside, and I said, "Scotty, you told me that horse could go fast." And I had to jump off and pass him going up the backside.
Scott Kane's my co-host, but I don't mind if you knock him a little bit. You were busy cooking breakfast this morning here for the Truro Horsemen's Association.
We cooked 32 dozen eggs and 30 pounds of bacon this morning. We really appreciate that, and we welcome everybody to come for breakfast.
Dave Pinckney, thanks very much for joining us. You've certainly been no stranger to the winner's circle here at Truro Raceway.
Thank you very much.
That's Dave Pinckney. Phil Pinckney, the winning driver in the race number 7 with Ornery Dawn, 1:57.2, the final time.
Cyril ready. Check with the mutual office, please. Here is the complete rundown from race 7. Number 1, All Talk's Brother, finished 3rd. 2, Bob's Bunny was 5th. 3, Mr. Rood, finished 2nd. 4, Kelly Chameleon, 4th. 5, Ornery Dawn, the winner. 6, the final Brett, finished 6th. The quarter, 28-4. The half in 59-2. 3 quarters in 1:28-3. The mile in 1:57 and 2/5. In review from the top, your card reads 352-416. Triactor in race 7, 531. It returned $171.40. The Quinola at $13.40. Upcoming in race 8, number 1, Whisper to Me Dear, changed the driver to Gilles Berriot. Post time for race 8 in Entries are now on the track and parading for race number 8 of the evening. Atlantic Sire Stake 3-year-old pacing filly A division from post 1, Whisper to Me Dear, is owned by Roy Goodine. Note the driver change to Gilles Berriot. Betty Hicken and Bert Henneville are the owners of 2, Ciel's Glory. Claire McDonald drives. Todd Trites aboard 3, LFN for Heather Hathaway. Driving Miss Tuesday from post 4 gets Rod Jameson for John Arsenault. John Eldon Green and John Irvine, the owners of 5, Miss Laurie. Shane Berner driving. Rose Mountel from post 6, home of Gerald Alexander with Bernard McCollum at the lines. Number 7, Raylene Finesse with Bob Leet driving. Bob co-owns with Cyril Reddy. Post time for race 8 in 4 minutes.
An exciting race number 7, Scott, for sure, with Ornery Dawn getting the win in 1:57.2. Phil Pinckney really showing what he's made of in that one.
Well, you know, I watched that horse warm up tonight, and I made my selections early, and I watched him warm up, and I thought, you know, I think I made the wrong selections here because that horse warmed up real good. In that race going into the first turn, Kelly Chameleon got a little bit rough. I would have liked to have seen, if he hadn't got rough, what the fractions would have been, because I think he was headed for the front when he did that.
You took a bit of a shot from Dave Pinkney out there tonight.
Oh, well, I take shots from Dave Pinkney all the time. I gave him his best drive probably ever, and he didn't appreciate it, that's all.
How do you see this 8th race coming down? We have another A division for 3-year-old fillies here. LFN is one of the contenders, and CL's Glory, leaving from post 2, will probably be heard from as well.
I think those are the two contenders, all right. I've picked LFN to win it and CL's Glory for second. And I think I'm going to go with the number 1 horse, Whisper to Me Dear, and don't get smart.
No, I won't. That's the way Scott sees the race. We'll give you a look at our selections again here on the graphic, and good luck with your picks in the 8th dash.
Less than 2 minutes. Race number 8 of the evening, A division of the 3-year-old pacing fillies, has Whisper to Me Dear, CL's Glory, LFN, Drivin' Miss Tuesday, Miss Laurie, Rosemount Dell, and Raylene Finesse. They're off, and as they leave the gate, that's LFN getting the first call. Down to the inside is Whisper to Me Dear, out alertly, looking for the early lead as they race on to the opening 8th. LFN on the outside moves on to take over. Whisper to Me Dear gets away in the pocket. CL's Glory, an unhurried 3rd. Down at the rail and pacing in 4 as they head up the backstretch is Drivin' Miss Tuesday. Next in line in 5, that is Miss Laurie. Then back in 6 is Rosemount Dell. The early trailer is Raylene Finesse. Seating arrangements complete as they move past the opening quarter. Out front and setting the early tempo, that is LFN by 2 lengths. Whisper to Me Dear follows in the garden spot. CL's Glory now pondering, coming to the outside in 3, along the inside 4th. That's Drivin' Miss Tuesday, and moving to the outside goes CL's Glory. She will continue on to engage the pace-setting LFN after an opening quarter of 30 2/5 seconds. In front of us now for time 1 as they approach the half. LFN with the lead, nursed on the outside and racing second. That is CL's Glory inside 3rd. That is number 1, Whisper to Me Dear. Then moving up on the outside and following cover as they move on to the backstretch is Miss Laurie. She sits a second over 5th. They head on to the backstretch. Final time. LFN still there by a length and a half. CL's Glory is working it first over second. Inside 3rd. That's Whisper to Me Dear getting a good second over trip and sitting on the outside in 4. That's Miss Laurie 5th and hemmed in. Drivin' Miss Tuesday. Back in 6, Rosemount Dell, and coming wide from the back of the field is Raylene Finesse. A minute 3/5 was the half. 3/4 in 1:31, and they still have not got to LFN. Still clear by a length on the outside. CL's Glory is trying to close in second. On the inside, Whisper to Me Dear is still there pacing 3rd. They straighten out through the lane now for the final time. LFN leads them home. CL's Glory on the outside. Drivin' Miss Tuesday is up on the far outside. Drivin' Miss Tuesday. LFN trying to hold them off. CL's Glory. It's tight. It could be Drivin' Miss Tuesday on the far outside. Back in victory lane is the winner of the A division of the 3-year-old pacing fillies. Number 4 in your program, Drivin' Miss Tuesday, a daughter of Easy Bruce out of the Armborough Belmont Dam, Miss Armbriana. Owned by John Arsenault of Truro, trained by Fred Saunders, and driven to victory by Rod Jameson. Drivin' Miss Tuesday, pacing to a new life's mark of 2:01 and 4 fifths. In victory lane, making the cooler presentation, the Honorable Ed Lorraine, Minister of Agriculture and Marketing for Nova Scotia, joined by Earl Skirman, President of the Atlantic Standardbred Breeders, making the cooler presentation to the winner, Drive-In Miss Tuesday, and Rod Jameson, 201 and 4 fifths. Seventh and 7 Raylene Finesse finished 5th. The quarter 30 and 2. The half in a minute 3 fifths. 3 quarters in 1:31. The mile 2:01 and 4 fifths. The entries are now on the track and parading for race number 9 of the evening. It's a B division of the 3-year-old pacing fillies. Number 1 has been scratched. 2, First Cam for You gets David O'Brien for Margaret Murphy. NS Empress from post 3 is owned by Bill Turner, Robert Laffin at the helm. Phil Pinckney's aboard 4, Savannah Fern for Donna Wilson. Marvin Webster, Elton Miller, and Rob Williams are the owners of 5, Northern Swing Time. Walter Chevrolet aboard. Hugh McMillan and the Westover Stock Farm, the owners of 6, Jeans Expert, Ken McDonald driving. Fernhill Jewel from post 7 gets Bill Hicken for Ralph Annear. From post 8, Saucy Breeze is owned by Mel Blanchard. Note the driver change to Gilles Barrio. And from post 9 is Lindale OK. Earl Smith for Dan McIsaac. Post time for race 9 in less than 6 minutes. It's 9th race post time. The gates in motion. Race number 9 of the evening has First Cam for You, NS Empress, Savannah Fern, Northern Swing Time, Jeans Expert, Fernhill Jewel, Saucy Breeze, and Lindale OK. They're off and pacing off the gate quickly as Northern Swing Time in search of the early lead. Fernhill Jewel up on the outside as away second as they move into that first turn. Down along the inside and looking for the early lead. As they move by the opening 8th is NS Empress. They continue on by the opening quarter. Driving up on the outside, Northern Swing Time to take over. Left on the limb is Fernhill Jewel second. Down on the inside and racing third, that is NS Empress. followed at fourth on the limb by Gene's Expert. Fifth, then driving in along the rail and racing from 5. That's First Cam for You. They move on to the 3/8 on top of the field by a length. Northern Swing Time getting away in the pocket is NS Empress. They were past the quarter in 30 seconds flat. They make their way off the top turn. Northern Swing Time and NS Empress. They sit 1-2. Parked on the outside. Fernhill Jewel is third. First Cam for You along the inside fourth. Parked but with cover in 5. That's Gene's Expert. Back sixth, and moving up on the outside is Saucy Breeze as they check in at the halfway point. The leader is still Northern Swing Time, a length and a half. NS Empress getting the Golden Trip second. Outside and going the long route third is Fernhill Jewel. First Cam for You along the inside is hemmed in fourth. Getting a second over trip on the outside is Gene's Expert from 5, then back in a sixth on the outside. And racing third over is Saucy Breeze. Lindale OK is seventh, and the eighth one moving to the outside is Savannah Fern. 1:01.1 was the half there, midway down the backside. Final time, Fernhill Jewel is inching in on the pace-setting Northern Swing Time. Still in the pocket and looking for room is NS Empress third. Outside and well spotted is Gene's Expert from 4. Fifth inside and nowhere to go for First Cam for You. They're midway around the final turn. 1:33.2 was the 3/4. Northern Swing Time trying to hold them at bay. Fernhill Jewel parked every step, is still right there with it, a half a length second. Down inside, NS Empress is going into the passing lane. Northern Swing Time, NS Empress, Fernhill Jewel. No one is going to get to Northern Swing Time. Finishing second is number 3, NS Empress. It could be Fernhill Jewel hanging on to the show spot. Now back in the winner's enclosure is the winner of the 3-year-old pacing filly B division, number 5, Northern Swing Time. Brown daughter of Scorpion, with the troublemaker dam My Lady Anita, owned by Marvin Webster, Elton Miller, and Rob Williams, trained by Elton Miller and driven by Walter Chevrolet. Northern Swing Time, winning in a new life's best of 2:04 and 1/5. Victory Lane making the Cooler presentation. Mr. Jamie Muir, MLA for Truro Bible Hill, joined by Jack Ferguson, manager of the Atlantic Standardbred Breeders, presenting Northern Swing Time, the winner of the B division of the 3-year-old pacing fillies in 2:04 and 1. Race 9 is now official. 1 was scratched. 2 First Cam for You, 4th. 3 NS Empress was 2nd. 4 Savannah Fern, 6th. 5 Northern Swing Time, the winner. 6 Jeans Expert was 5th. 7 Fernhill Jewel, 3rd. 8 Saucy Breeze was 8th. 9 Lindale OK finishing 7th. The quarter in 30 seconds, the half in 1:01 and 1, 3/4 in 1:33 and 2, the mile in 2:04 and 1/5. The 3-year-old fillies are now entering the track for the 10th race of the evening. It's an A division of the 3-year-old pacing fillies. Number 1 is Gambo. Trevin Shive will drive for owner Jim Shive. The 2KR Quest has been scratched. 3 Backstretch Ricky, owned and will be driven by Shane Bernard. Number 4 is Miss Courtney Lynn, owned by Art Moore. Danny Romo will steer. From post 5 is Lone Star Beacon. Kenny Arsenault driving for Donald Gillis. Number 6 is Kilkerran Princess, owned by Doug Ferguson with Claire McDonald driving. Mike Campbell will pilot Bear Island Beauty from post 7, owned by Gerald Goodine. 10th race post time in 7 minutes. Race number 10, A division of the 3-year-old fillies, has Gambo, Backstretch Ricky, Miss Courtney Lynn, Lone Star Beacon, Kilkerran Princess, and Bear Island Beauty. They're off and pacing. Miss Courtney Lynn off the gate quickly to grab the early lead. Backstretch Ricky moving out second as they pace that first turn up on the limb, and now finding a seat third is Kilkerran Princess. Coming away in the 4th spot as they head by the opening 8th is Lone Star Beacon. And back racing in a 5 is Bear Island Beauty, and trailing the field in the early going is Gambo. Moving up single file past the opening quarter. Miss Courtney Lynn out front is dictating the pace. A 2.5 length margin on the pocket sitting Backstretch Ricky. Kilkerran Princess an unhurried third. Down at the rail in 4 as they move over to the 3/8 is Lone Star Beacon. Then back in 5 is Bear Island Beauty, and Gambo can see them all as they move off the top turn. 29 4/5 was the initial quarter. They move off the top turn. Miss Courtney Lynn now has company in Kilkerran Princess as they move up past the halfway point. Kilkerran Princess now ducks into the pocket, and Miss Courtney Lynn is back to a 1-length advantage. Kilkerran Princess on the inside second. Left uncovered on the limb is Bear Island Beauty third. Backstretch Ricky shuffle back and locked in 4th. 5th and driving up on the outside with cover Lone Star Beacon, and trailing is Gambo. They've reached the half in 59 4/5 seconds. They move over to 3/4. Miss Courtney Lynn still there by a length. Kilkerran Princess is now locked in the pocket. Bear Island Beauty braving it first over, third, second over, and tipping 3 wide is Lone Star Beacon 4th. 5th along the inside as they move to the 7/8 is Backstretch Ricky, and Gambo remains the 6th one. They head for the top turn. 1:30 and 2 was the 3/4. Miss Courtney Lynn still there on a length lead. Kilkerran Princess looking for room in the pocket. Bear Island Beauty outside third. They move off the top turn and straighten out for the stretch drive. Miss Courtney Lynn will lead them home on the outside. Kilkerran Princess trying to close in. Miss Courtney Lynn, Kilkerran Princess on the outside. Miss Courtney Lynn will not be denied. Kilkerran Princess second, finishing third, Bear Island Beauty. Back in victory lane, the winner of race 10, A division of the 3-year-old pacing fillies, number 4, Miss Courtney Lynn, a brown daughter of Hosods out of the nightly blue chip dam Kirsch Fenway, owned and trained by Arthur Moore of Hubbard's. Danny Romo in the back for his 3rd stakes-winning drive of the evening. Miss Courtney Lynn pacing to a new life's best of 2:01 flat. Victory lane making the cooler presentation on behalf of the Atlantic Standardbred Breeders, New Brunswick Vice President Steve Downey.
For trackside with Arthur Moore, you're the owner of this fine horse that just won the race in 2:01. That's a new lifetime mark for your horse. Tell me about how the filly has developed this year.
Well, she was a little bit slow getting going. First race she won this year, but she had made a couple of breaks, and we found that she didn't like the loose track very good, so we cocked her up a little bit for today, and she raced much better tonight.
And Danny was very aggressive with her early in the mile tonight. How important was that?
Well, it's always important to get out to the lead there, and she leads pretty good, except when she wasn't shod just right, I guess.
And you mentioned the first win of the season for Miss Courtney Lynn this year. Last year was certainly a great season for her, and you've told me you've had a hand in developing her, of course, being right there with her all the way. What do you do with a 2-year-old filly to help her along? And she had certainly a very successful season last year. Is it a great challenge to get them to the races and keep them racing as competitively as she did at the age of 2?
Well, she did do pretty good last year, but I'm just sort of got this for a hobby and retirement, and I'm learning as I go. So I guess she's doing a lot of it just on her own.
Well, that's a super trip tonight. Congratulations.
Thanks a lot.
That's Arthur Moore, the owner and trainer of Miss Courtney Lynn, the new lifetime mark of 2:01 tonight here at Truro Raceway.
Here is the complete rundown from the 10th race. Number 1, Gamble, finished 6th. 2 was scratched. 4, 2, 3. Triactor 4, 6, 7, or 9, 7. Alfred for Ken Fram. And from post 8 is Fussy's Pride by Ernie Gillen, Danny Romo in the sulky. Post time for race 11 in 5 minutes.
Back trackside with Scott Kane. We almost sent out an APB for Scott after that last race. I missed you.
Well, I knew you would, and I kind of got lost myself down there. Once you go downstairs and everybody's looking for something and doing something else, so but I knew you could handle it on your own. You're doing an excellent job.
Well, you're doing an excellent job too. We're getting excited because in race 14 it's the Nova Scotia Provincial Exhibition Cup. It's not far away now, and it's going to be one heck of a race with 7 horses here tonight going for $10,000. But in the meantime, some good racing still to come, Scott. In this 11th race, there are some really good preferred class horses here.
Well, I'll tell you, the horse leaving right on the rail here tonight, he's been in with tough company all year long, True Pleasure, and he's been a good horse for years. And, of course, there's lots of good horses in this race as I look down the card. I went with the number 3 horse, a newcomer to me, Nuclear Genius, and I like the look of his papers, and I went with True Pleasure for second and R.B. Vladimir for third.
You mentioned True Pleasure right off the top, and I think that's interesting because if there was a horse on the program that I thought might be named for you, then that might have been it.
It was a pleasure.
I'm not exactly going to agree with you here, Scott, and you don't mind if I disagree just a little bit.
No, you do that quite a bit.
Number 4 is going to be my pick here. He's coming to us from St. John tonight. Gilles Berriot will drive Aaron M. down. I just like the way the race might turn out for him. We'll have a look and see. I do look for R.B. Vladimir and Nuclear Genius both to be close to the front early. We might see an extremely quick half here in this 11th race, and for that reason I'd watch for the 4 horse to come from off the pace. In his last start, he was 4th in 59 and 4, and that was only off a half in a minute. So if he gets some quicker fractions early, things might open up for Aaron M. down. I also like True Pleasure, not for the same reason as Scott does, of course, and I'm going to select Nuclear Genius for third here. Any last thoughts about race 11?
No, I think if it's any upset at all, I would have to say True Pleasure, because he's backed up in class here, and he's been racing with some tougher horses here this year, and the rail's going to help him too.
And what are you hearing around the grandstand tonight, Scott, in anticipation of that 14th race coming up?
Well, there's quite a buzz going on, and everybody seems to have a different winner, which is good. So there's no big early favorite now.
Race number 11 of the evening has True Pleasure, R.B. Vladimir, Nuclear Genius, Aaron M. Down, McChamp, Calgary Flutie, Alfred, and Fussy's Pride. They're off and pacing along the inside. R.B. Vladimir with True Pleasure, and from the outside, that is Alfred leaving alertly. They move into the turn. True Pleasure, R.B. Vladimir now moving on the outside, has taken over the lead. True Pleasure away second. Caught outside is Alfred third. On the inside and getting away to sit in 4, Nuclear Genius, followed 5th by Aaron M. Down. Then back racing in 6 is McChamp, followed in 7 by Calgary Flutie, and the 8th one away is Fussy's Pride. They race into the turn, approaching the 3/8 out front. R.B. Vladimir dictating the pace. Alfred gets the parking ticket second. On the inside, True Pleasure gets the pocket ride third, moving off the rail in 4. As they round the top turn is Nuclear Genius. Then back pacing in 5 is Aaron M. Down. Looking at it from 6 as they move off the top turn is McChamp. 27 and 4 was the initial quarter. R.B. Vladimir is setting a lively clip and still leads a length and a half. True Pleasure with a good journey from the pocket. Outside and going a long route is Alfred third. Inside, Nuclear Genius is caught at the rail in 4. Second over McChamp is 5th and tipping 3 wide. Inside 6th as they move on to the backstretch is Aaron M. Down. Then back to Calgary Flutie, and Fussy's Pride is at the back of the field. 57 and 1 was the half. They move to 3/4. Still in charge is R.B. Vladimir. Now McChamp is moving up to engage. As they move past 3/4, McChamp is moving on and taking over the lead. R.B. Vladimir is second along the inside. True Pleasure is caught at the rail. Moving up now on the outside, Calgary Flutie is in pursuit of McChamp. They head for the 7/8. McChamp the leader. Calgary Flutie right on his back second. R.B. Vladimir trying to hold third. Fussy's Pride outside is 4th. They move off the top turn. 128 and 3 was 3/4. They drive to the payoff. It's McChamp with Calgary Flutie in pursuit. McChamp will prevail in race 11. Finishing second is Calgary Flutie, the show spot to Fussy's Pride. Now back in victory lane is the winner of race 11, number 5, McChamp. Natural Bay Gelding by Noor Findale. Owned by Milton Downey of St. John, New Brunswick, trained by Steve Downey and driven by Steve Mason. McChamp in 1:57 and 4/5. Cooler in race 11, kindly donated by Harper's Gas Bar and Convenience. Victory lane to make the cooler presentation are Gloria Harper, Laurie Holman, Aaron O'Connell, and Craig Barnhill. Race 11 is official. 1 True Pleasure finished 5th. 2 RB Gladimir was 7th. 3 Nuclear Genius 6th. 4 Aaron M. Down 4th. 5 McChamp the winner. 6 Calgary Flutie was 2nd. 7 Alfred finishing 8th. And 8 Fussy's Pride was 3rd. The fractions, quarter 27 and 4. The half in 57 and 1. 3 quarters in 1:28 and 3 in the mile, 1:57 and 4/5. Top down, your card should read 576-41283. Upcoming in the 12th race, B division of the 3-year-old pacing fillies, number 7 Lonesome Dolly. Make the driver Vaughn Doyle. Post time for race 12 in 10 minutes. The entries are now on the track and training for the 12th race. Atlantic Sire Stake 3-year-old pacing filly B division. Number 1 is Harbor April, owned and driven by Greg Monroe. Ralph Rosell, the owner of 2, Blue Meadow Nancy, Gary Chappell aboard. Wayne McLean owns and drives number 3, Bucky's Beauty. Bob Craswell and Lowell Stead, the owners of 4, Island Sky, Shane Bernard driving. Little Marion from post 5 has Rod Jameson aboard for Carl McDougall. And Kelly owns, Barry Craswell drives 6, Esker Daydream. Carmen Phillips, John Milligan, and Dave Stewart, the owners. Vaughn Doyle, the driver of 7, Lonesome Dolly. From post 8 is Fernhill Joy with Claire McDonald up for Brian McLeod. And in the trailing post 9, Caitlin's April Ann has Danny Romo up for Carl and Trevor Delaney. Post time for the 12th race in less than 5 minutes. Race number 12 of the evening, B division of the 3-year-old pacing fillies. Harbor April, Blue Meadow Nancy, Bucky's Beauty, Island Sky, Little Marion, Esker Daydream, Lonesome Dolly, Fernhill Joy, and Caitlin's April Ann. They're off and pacing off the gate quick is Blue Meadow Nancy to grab the early lead. From the outside is Island Sky. They move into the first turn. Bucky's Beauty will grab the pocket. Island Sky on the limb. Now we'll find a seat third. Harbor April. Away at the rail is fourth. Caitlin's April Ann moving out early in 5. Now fourth and driving up first over as they approach the opening quarter. Out front and showing the way onto the opening station. That is number 2, Blue Meadow Nancy, leading it by a length and a half. Bucky's Beauty is second. Here comes Caitlin's April Ann now hustling up third. In along the rail and racing in 4 is Island Sky. Then back pacing in 5 is Harbor April. Little Marion takes a look in 6. Holding down the 7th spot is Fernhill Joy. They race off by the 3/8. 30 and 2 was the initial quarter. They move off the top turn and approach the half. Out front now, Caitlin's April Ann is your new leader. Has the top spot by a length and a half. Giving chase in the pocket is Blue Meadow Nancy. Now moving up first over is Bucky's Beauty from 3. Then at the rail in 4 is Island Sky. Up into contention now. 5th is Little Marion. Then back in 6th is Harbor April. Fernhill Joy has 7. Lonesome Dally from 8. Well back and trailing in 9 is Esker Daydream. 101 and 2, the halfway point. They enter the backstretch final time. And leading the way, Caitlin's April Ann, 3/4 of a length. Bucky's Beauty is the first over attacker, second. In the pocket and hemmed in racing third. That is number 2, Blue Meadow Nancy. Then next in line, Island Sky is 4th. 5th and driving up, Little Marion. They move on over to the 7/8. Caitlin's April Ann is the one to catch. Still there, a length and a half on Blue Meadow Nancy along the inside. And now reclaiming third is Island Sky. Up on the limb, wide in 4 is Little Marion. 1:32 and 2 was the 3/4. They head off the top turn and straighten out through the lane for the final time. It's Caitlin's April Ann now being pressured on the outside by Blue Meadow Nancy. Caitlin's April Ann, Blue Meadow Nancy on the outside. Caitlin's April Ann, Blue Meadow Nancy. Blue Meadow Nancy. Caitlin's April Ann finishing third. Island Sky. Back in victory lane, the winner of race 12, B division of the 3-year-old pacing fillies, number 2, Blue Meadow Nancy, the daughter of Nightly Blue Chip, the Curtis Hanover Dam Blue Meadow Eve, owned and trained by Ralph Frizzell of Charlottetown and driven by Gary Chappell. Blue Meadow Nancy with a new life's mark of 2:03 flat. Jack Ferguson, manager of the Atlantic Standardbred Breeders, in victory lane, making the cooler presentation. The winning ticket number is 986110. He's now on the track and parading for the 13th race of the evening, an open fillies and mares event. Number 1 is Urge. Robert Laffin aboard number 2, Carefree, for Peter Foy. Blair Saunders, the owner of 3, Sorcier Fantasia, Kurt Harper catch driving. Von Doyle aboard number 4, Now I'm Laughing, for Shane Doyle. Hardy Lawrence, the owner. Danny Romo will pilot from post 5 on Pogey again. Claire McDonald drives 6, Fair Arrow, for owner Duncan Gillis. Bob Hume, the owner of 7, Meductic Molly, Phil Pinckney in the seat. Darren Crow for Donna Rector aboard number 8, First French Kiss. Post time for race 13 in 6 minutes.
We're correct on my picks and yours were backwards, but that's okay. I'm sure you can take it. I know you've got a lot of character.
Well, I'm a little mad about it, but that's the way it goes. So, I mean, you know, that's horse racing.
You've still got 2 more chances to go, though, here tonight, and a class of fillies and mares here in race number 13 coming up. We've got about 5 minutes to post time. Always good to see this type of class put together. How important is it for the mares to get a shot to race each other?
Oh, it's very important because, you know, mares going against geldings or stallions, it's a little bit tough for them. And when you get all the mares together, it's an equal bunch, and this is a pretty good bunch of mares, I'll tell you that. There's a whole bunch of them in here can go between 59 and 2 minutes, and that's a pretty good group of mares.
This type of class always seems to be quite popular with the fans.
Yeah, they like it, and they like to bet the mares, and it's a good chance for them. I really like to see more mares, you know, getting a chance to race against mares rather than against the others.
And how do you see this race coming together?
Well, I've watched a little mare here that's been racing on Pogey again, and she can finish, really finish. Again, it depends on the half. If they go down the half quick, I think she'll, you know, put the last half on them and destroy them. But if they back off the half, you know, she could be in trouble. But I'm going to go with her on Pogey again to win it. In for second, I'm going to pick number 4, Now I'm Laughing, and the show spot to number 7, Meductic Molly.
There was a fellow that tried to interrupt your picks here just a moment ago. I can't believe that.
Well, he was from Cape Breton, and I think he was trying to get to the windows pretty quick.
That's the way you've got to do sometimes. I'm going to go out and actually predict the way that this race is going to go, Scott. I think that there's going to be a horse get to the top quite easily here, and I think that the horse will get a breather in that second quarter the way that you talked about and possibly have more finishing kick later on in the mile. And for me, that horse is the 4, Now I'm Laughing. I'll look for Von Doyle to really take charge in this one right from the beginning. This is a horse that has 9 wins from 23 starts this year. It's an excellent percentage, and whenever you get a look at that summary on the right-hand side of your program, always good to see that the horse is winning, and with that degree of frequency, you know, you're dealing with a mare that is really a good character mare. She's a 7-year-old by On the Road again, and I'd look for Vaughn to maybe get a bit of a breather in that second quarter. But from there, I'm going to agree with you to a large extent. I like Meductic Molly for second, and On Pogey again for third, so we've got the same 3 horses, just in slightly different order.
I guess we better box it. Good idea? Does that make us both winners?
It might. But then again, it might not.
Well, the 3-horse, the only reason I didn't pick Now I'm Laughing to win it is because the 3-horse Socier Fantasia can leave the gate pretty good. So it could give her a little bit of trouble.
We'll see how this comes together here in race number 13. Just one more to go before we're all set with the 11th running of the Nova Scotia Provincial Exhibition Cup.
Last call to make your selections on the 13th race. The fillies and mares go to the gate in less than 1 minute. Final call. Race number 13 of the evening has Sherwood Flight, Carefree, Sorcier Fantasia. Now I'm Laughing. On Pogey again, Fair Arrow, Meductic Molly, and First French Kiss. They're off and pacing. Sorcier Fantasia along with Now I'm Laughing. Those two off battling for the early lead with Carefree settling out third. Getting away to race in 4. That is number 1 Sherwood Flight as they head by the opening 8th. In 5 is Fair Arrow. Outside is First French Kiss from 6. Back to 7 and on Pogey again. The early trailer Meductic Molly. They move down the backstretch on their way past the opening quarter. Sorcier Fantasia out front is dictating the pace. A length and a half lead on Now I'm Laughing. Then a gap of 3 open lengths. Back third is Carefree. Along the inside, Sherwood Flight next in line 4th. Now up on the outside, parked out in 5 is First French Kiss. Fair Arrow has 6. Meductic Molly underway from 7. And 8th and trailing the field is on Pogey again. 28 and 2 was the opening quarter. They race in front of the grandstand, approaching the half. Sorcier Fantasia with the lead. Now getting flushed out of the pocket. Now I'm Laughing is moving on to challenge. Fair Arrow will pick up that cover. On the outside, Carefree is covered up third. Inside and racing in 4 is Sherwood Flight. Then Fair Arrow on the inside is hemmed in 5th, 6th, and 3rd over. As they move on to the backstretch is First French Kiss, Meductic Molly 7, and still 8th and trailing is on Pogey again. 58 and 2 was the half. They move on to 3/4. Sorcier Fantasia holding the lead on the outside. Now I'm Laughing. Carefree is well spotted, sitting a dangerous 3rd. Now 3 wide. Here comes Meductic Molly. Along the inside and looking to squeeze off the rail is Sherwood Flight. They're 4 deep as they move on to the 7/8. It's Now I'm Laughing with the lead. Extreme outside. That is Meductic Molly. In the center is Sherwood Flight. They move off the top turn. 1:28 and 3, and trying to circle from the back is on Pogey again. They straighten out for the stretch drive. Now I'm Laughing. Meductic Molly on the outside. Far outside is on Pogey again. 4 mares across the track, and at the line, it's tight. It could be on Pogey again. Then Sherwood Flight and Meductic Molly. Now back in Victory Lane is the winner of the 13th race, Open Fillies and Mares event, number 5 in your program, On Pogie Again. A Bay filly by On the Road Again, the Tyler B. Dam Love Princess, owned and trained by Hardy Lawrence of Kennecook. Danny Romo in the bike for his 4th winning drive of the evening. On Pogie Again, pacing in 2 minutes and 1/5. The 13th race cooler, kindly donated by Blakey's Dodge Chrysler. Mr. Jack Babineau in Victory Lane, making the cooler presentation. Here is the official result of race 13. Number 1, Sherwood Flight was 2nd. 2, Carefree finishing 5th. 3, Sorcier Fantasia was 7th. 4, Now I'm Laughing was 4th. 5, On Pogie Again, the winner. 6, Fair Arrow 6th. 7, Meductic Molly was 3rd. And 8, First French Kiss finishing 8th. The quarter, 28 and 2. The half reached in 58 and 2. 3 quarters in 1:28 and 3. And the mile, 2 minutes and 1/5. In review from the top, 2:57. 4:16.3.
Atlantic Lottery Corporation and Labatt's proudly present Exhibition Cup 11 with an outstanding field of horses. We are pleased tonight to have with us a talented lady whose surname is synonymous with success in the harness racing industry in Atlantic Canada, and she will sing the beautiful She's Called Nova Scotia. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Danielle Pinkney.
She grows on you slowly the first time you meet. There's just so much beauty the heart can believe. And you want to stay longer, and she's ever so pleased. You're one of the many who don't want to leave. So walk through her green field, go down to the sea. The fortune in your eyes is more like a dream. She's called Nova Scotia, and she so makes you feel you've discovered a treasure no other has seen. It's hard to remember the places you've been, for once in her presence, she's all that you see. And she cradles you softly like a warm, gentle breeze, and wins your heart over with the feeling of peace. So walk through her green field, go down to the sea. The fortune in your eyes is more like a dream. She's called Nova Scotia, and she so makes you feel you discovered a treasure no other has seen. Welcomes the strangers from faraway shores, while deep down inside her, some walk through her soul. And at night in her slumber, the wind softly call, and awaken her spirit that lives in us all. So walk through her green field, go down to
Thank you, Danielle, and we will now call upon the First Lady of Harness Racing to present a bouquet to Danielle and her most capable assistant, her younger sister, Sarah. Lorraine Pinckney. We will now turn the mic over to the golden voice of the Truro Raceway, track announcer Joe Kelly, to introduce this prestigious field of pacers.
The entry now on the track and parading for the feature of the evening, the 11th edition of the Nova Scotia Provincial Exhibition Cup Invitational Pace, carrying a purse of $10,000. Drawing the rail in tonight's select field of invitational pacers is one of three maritime-bred hopefuls. He is a son of drop-off out of the Bee Gees Bunny Dam Nan's Bunny with a career mark of 155-2, taking just 4 starts back at Rideau Carleton Raceway in Ottawa. This 4-year-old has lifetime earnings of just under $45,000 for owner Neil Mose of Cornwall PEI. Trained and driven by capable Mike McDonald from Post 1 is Woodmere Jet. From Post 2 is Dr. Ian Moore in this year's edition of the Exhibition Cup. He is a 4-year-old Ontario-bred son of Cam Luck out of a Brett Hanover mare. He sports a nice mark of 154 flat, taken over Woodbine Raceway last year as a 3-year-old. This career earner of over $44,000 was the recent third-place finisher in the H. McCain Invitational Pace last week at Woodstock Raceway. Dr. Ian Moore of Winslow PEI owns, trains, and will drive. From Post 2, Garth Seelster. From Post 3 is the second of 3 maritime breds in tonight's Cup field, owned by Jerry Ivany of Halifax has 2 second-place finishes in just 3 maritime free-for-all appearances. He recorded his life's mark of 157-2, 5-star back here at Truro, and all of his lifetime earnings of over $32,000 were earned right here in the Maritimes. Trained by Rod Jameson, and Rod will live from post 3, Tenderfoot. Drawing post 4 in tonight's $10,000 test is the recent acquisition of Top Equities of Truro. Since his arrival in the Maritimes, this 5-year-old gelded son of Armbro Emerson has won 6 of his 9 starts, setting a Maritime season's mark of 155-4 in the Johnny Conroy here in Truro. He tops the field in lifetime earnings with just over $169,000 on his papers and holds a speed badge of 153-4. Trained by Joey Green from the Danny Romo stable and driven by Truro's leading driver Danny Romo from post 4, El Perfecto. Lloyd and Amy Denton of New Maryland, New Brunswick are the proud owners of this maritime-bred three-legged son of Drop-Off. He owns the fastest mark of any in tonight's field by virtue of his 153 winning performance this year over the ultra-tough Meadowlands racetrack in New Jersey. This 4-year-old also tops the field in seasonal earnings with $51,450. Lloyd Denton is the trainer, and Lonnie Stokes has been called upon to drive from post 5, Woodmere Topcat. Leaving from post 6 is a 5-year-old gelded son of Die Laughing out of the storm-damaged mare Spring Flood. This Ron McDonald trainee has won 5 of 26 on the year while pacing to a new life's best of 155 at Montreal. Seasonal earnings of $28,157 with lifetime total $49,748. Owned by Brett McLennan of Charlottetown, Paul McDonald gets the driving assignment behind number 6, Floodwaters. From post 7 is a 4-year-old Ontario-bred son of Cam Luck, who is making his first start on maritime soil. Recently purchased by owner Sandra Foley of Fredericton, New Brunswick. This gelding paced to a new life's mark 2 starts back on the tough OJC circuit by taking a $25,000 claiming event in 154 flat. Seasonal earnings of just over $36,000 brings his life's total to over $50,000. Trained by Sandra Foley, the KG veteran Phil Pinckney is aboard number 7, Gimme Luck. That is your field for the 11th edition of the Nova Scotia Provincial Exhibition Cup Invitational Pace. They'll go to the gate in approximately 10 minutes.
He's been consistent all year and also has some good early gate speed.
Yeah, he can leave the gate pretty good, and of course the guy sitting behind him is next to a genius, Roddy. He's probably one of the top horsemen in the country as far as getting one off the gate and handling one. He's a real good driver, Roddy Jameson. You can't take anything away from his. You know, he's just tremendous, and I know that this horse will be on the gate, and I know he'll probably leave with him, and he'll give a good account of himself.
A lot of the One of the horses, I should say, that has taken over the spotlight with the absence of Comedy Hour tonight is El Perfecto, largely because of the success that he had at Woodstock last week, winning the McCain. But as well, if you look over the card, 8 wins from 14 starts for El Perfecto, and he paced to a new, not a new lifetime mark, but a pretty good trip over a half-mile track, 1:55 and 4 right here in the Johnny Conroy.
Yeah, and he's got to be one to consider, you know, as one of the top contenders in here, because he's such a steady horse. He always gets a good account of himself, and like you say, he's always 1, 2, 3, and again, look who's behind him.
It doesn't hurt. It's funny how these top-class horses always attract top-class drivers.
Certainly do, and Danny's a top-class driver.
And one guy I think who's been underrated for a long stretch is Lonnie Stokes, and I'm really excited to see him get a chance here with a top-class horse, Woodmere Top Cat. He's free-legged. He's a horse that was very, very competitive. I think back to a race in St. John where he was just photoed out in the Dairy Queen final, I think it was, against Romeo Boucher's Colt Chatham-Hoochie. And Woodmere Top Cat has really shown this year with that early meet that he enjoyed at the Meadowlands, a horse that can compete with these top-class pacers. And after being off from mid-April, he came back, finished second in the McCain Memorial, was just beaten by a nose by Mr. Rude, and then that follow-up trip in Bangor last weekend, he shows that maybe he could be a horse to be reckoned with.
Yeah, Lonnie's another very capable driver, and it's good to see him with a top-class horse right here and getting a shot at this. And Woodmere Top Cat, of course, is going free-legged, and he's a pretty good-looking horse. I watched him warming up, and he's a smooth horse, that's for sure.
And Paul McDonald's been around before?
Yeah, Paul's kind of an underrated guy, too. He's always kind of taken a back seat to Mike because of Mike being up country and then coming back with some stars. But Paul McDonald, I'll tell you, Paul McDonald can handle a horse real good, and when he's in tough, he gets tougher. And Paul McDonald's got a good horse here, this Floodwaters, and I look for him to give a good account of himself, too.
Another horse that we haven't seen yet here in the Maritimes was just claimed probably about 4 weeks ago by Sandra Foley from Fredericton. She's got Mr. Rude. He finished second in the backup class tonight. Tonight, Gimme Luck makes his debut on the Maritime harness racing scene. A horse that was claimed for $20,000 from Woodbine Racetrack. She has him paid into the Gold Cup and Saucer, and we'll get a chance to see how he handles the half-mile track. Do you think that'll be much of an adjustment for this horse?
Well, I watched him warm up, and he looked very good warming up. I don't think the adjustment, of course, there's always some adjustment, but I don't think the adjustment's going to bother him. He's a good gaited horse, and of course, he's got a pretty good guy steering him, too.
We've got some time now to kind of analyze how the race might go, Scott, and you were bang on in that mare's race, kind of making a fool out of me in a way. Sorcier Fantasia did have a lot early, and that helped on Pogie again. It was exciting to see her come from the back of the field. How do you think this race might shape up in the first turn?
Well, it certainly depends on whether Woodmere Jet can handle the first turn. If he can get around the first turn, I think he's going to be on top. I know Tenderfoot will leave, and probably El Perfecto will leave out enough, I think, to try to grab the 3 spot. I don't know about Gimme Luck. From what I could see of him at Woodbine, he comes from the back. But I look for Woodmere Jet and Tenderfoot for the early speed, and I look for El Perfecto to sort of come on through the stretch, and it should be one heck of a race.
And so who are you calling to win?
I'm going to go with the one horse mainly because he's got the rail, and I know Mike didn't bring him home here just to show him off. He brought him home here to win a race, and he's got the rail, and I think that's going to be to his advantage. I'm going to go with him to win, El Perfecto for second, and I'm going to go with a long one for third, Gimme Luck.
Okay, they say never bet with your heart, but I'm going to do exactly that. I'm going to pick all 3 of the Maritime breds in the Triactor, and I don't think that's that much of a long shot. I know for people that are watching at Fredericton Raceway tonight that there's a lot of interest with 2 Fredericton-owned horses in this event. I'm going to pick Woodmere Top Cat to win. I'll look for some quick early fractions and for Woodmere Top Cat to shake loose, maybe past the 5/8 mile marker, and Lonnie will give him a good steer. I'm going to go with, as well, the 1 entry. I think that Woodmere Jet is definitely going to be a factor early in the mile, and Tenderfoot has been consistent to the degree that I think that he could give somebody a scare here.
Oh, he certainly can, that's for sure, and he likes this racetrack, too.
So it's going to be very, very interesting. 4 minutes to post time for the 11th running of the Nova Scotia Provincial Exhibition Cup. It is also, Scott, a leg, the 5th leg of the Maritime Invitational Pacing Series Comedy Hour, currently leading the point standings. They will go on. The next race in this series is at Charlottetown Driving Park coming up on the 24th of August in the Kinsman Pace. They'll have 2 more opportunities from there to earn points for one of the 8 spots in that championship final. Inverness also has a leg of that series, and Walter Dale Memorial at Fredericton, which is going to be Fredericton's last date in September, will be the final leg. So still a lot of things to be shaken down.
A lot of action yet to come, for sure.
We're looking forward to an awful lot of this, and we'll give you a chance to look over the program here about 3 minutes to post time. Thanks, Scott.
Exhibition Cup field is now moving in behind the gate. Race number 14, the 11th edition of the Nova Scotia Provincial Exhibition Cup Invitational Pace for a purse of $10,000 has Woodmere Jet, Garth Sealster, Tenderfoot, El Perfecto, Woodmere Topcat, Floodwaters, and Gimme Luck. Here they come. They're off and pacing and firing off the wings of the gate. Very alertly there was El Perfecto, and he'll grab the early lead before they hit the first turn. El Perfecto quickly crosses over to grab the lead. Getting away at the rail is Woodmere Jet to sit second. Settling out in a 3, that will be Tenderfoot. In along the rail, Garth Sealster grabs 4th. 5th is Woodmere Topcat. Gimme Luck parked out in 6th. And 7th and trailing in the early going, that is Floodwaters. They head on past the opening quarter. El Perfecto out front, dictating the pace, leading the field by a length. Woodmere Jet will get the perfect trip second. On the inside and racing out of 3, that's Tenderfoot. Next in line, Garth Sealster from 4. Woodmere Topcat is caught in along the rail. 5th, Gimme Luck starting 6th on the outside, and Floodwaters is the 7th one. They were past the quarter in 28 and 3/5 seconds, still unchallenged on the front end. That's El Perfecto leading it by a length. Woodmere Jet is content to follow in the pocket, with Tenderfoot next in line 3rd. Now peeking to the outside, Garth Sealster from 4. Along the inside, Woodmere Topcat elects to save ground 5th. Outside and racing 6th is Gimme Luck, and still at the back is Floodwaters. The half, 57 and 3. They head to the backstretch on to 3/4. El Perfecto, nobody to within 1 length of him as they move on to 3/4, but Woodmere Jet is tracking second, and he now steps to the outside. They head past 3/4. Woodmere Jet has pulled the pocket on El Perfecto. They race on to the 7/8. El Perfecto asked for more. Woodmere Jet, he's drawing right alongside. Those two have opened up 3 lengths on the 3rd place, Garth Sealster. They have an 8th to come. 1:27 and 1 to 3/4. El Perfecto is being tested by Woodmere Jet. Woodmere Jet on the outside, and El Perfecto digging in at the rail. It's Woodmere Jet and Mike McDonald. Woodmere Jet will win it for Mike McDonald. Second is El Perfecto. Garth Sealster finishing 3rd. The inquiry sign has been posted. Please hold on to all tickets. The inquiry in race 14 is on number 1, Woodmere Jet, for possibly leaving the race course in the first turn. Inquiry in the 14th on 1, Woodmere Jet. Did leave the race course in the first turn, but was deemed to be interfered with by number 3, Tenderfoot. Parade number 1, Woodmere Jet.
Mike McDonald, an anxious moment maybe on your way back, but you have the race now, a 1:55.4. Some people may be a little bit surprised because you went to the outside rather than wait for the passing lane. The aggressive move paid off.
Yeah, I tried to take him down the passing lane a couple of times before, and he won't go in the passing lane very good. So I said I'd move him out. He's pretty tough anyway, and so I knew that he'd live out there. But I didn't know if he'd win, but I knew he'd live out there. He doesn't like to go in the passing lane.
Super trip. Congratulations.
Thanks very much.
That's Mike McDonald, 1:55.
Now back in victory lane is the winner of the 11th edition of the Nova Scotia Provincial Exhibition Cup Invitational Pace. Number 1 on your program's Woodmere Jet. A 4-year-old brown son of drop-off out of the Bee Gees Bunny Dam Nan's Bunny. He's owned by Neil Mose of Cornwall PEI, trained and driven to victory by Mike McDonald. Woodmere Jet pacing the mile in 1:55 and 4/5. Down in victory lane, making the cooler and trophy presentation to the winning entry, Woodmere Jet. Owner Neil Mose and Mike McDonald is here already from the Nova Scotia Provincial Exhibition, along with Bert McQuaid from the Atlantic Lottery Corporation, presenting the cooler and trophy to the winning entry of the Exhibition Cup Invitational Pace. Mike McDonald, Woodmere Jet, and owner Neil Mose in 1:55 and 4/5. Here's how they finished in the Exhibition Cup. Number 1, Woodmere Jet, your race winner. 2, Garth Sealster was 3rd. 3, Tenderfoot finishing 7th. 4, El Perfecto was 2nd. 5, Woodmere Topcat 5th. 6, Floodwaters was 6th. 7, Gimme Lock finishing 4th. And 8 was scratched. The fractions 28 and 3, 57 and 3, 127 and 1. And the mile for Woodmere Jet, 1:55 and 4/5. From the top down, your card reads 137. 2564 scratched. Triactor 142 combination, $105.20. The Quinola $10.70. The late daily double combination 5 and 1. It returned $26.30. We're now going to send you down trackside to with the winner, Neil Mose, the owner of Woodmere Jet.
Thanks very much, Joe. Neil, you got to be very thrilled with the way the horse raced. We talked to Mike earlier in the program, and he said he'd figured that he'd have a shot. Did the race develop the way that you thought it might?
Well, I thought we'd get the top right easy, but I mean, the other horses were firing out a little quicker, so we took back, and we had a little confusion on the first turn, but things worked out for the best. And he raced over here last year, and he raced big. That's the reason why we took him back.
He raced just as fast here over this half-mile track as he did in Montreal 2 starts ago. He was charted in 1:55 and 4 as well. Does that surprise you, his ability to adapt to the smaller oval?
No, look, he's tough. I mean, he just keeps on coming every time, and I just can't say enough about the horse, the caretaker, the driver, everybody that's involved in this horse. It's a team effort, and we're so happy to be here.
And what's next for Woodmere Jet?
He's going to be in the trials in Charlottetown, and we're just going to try to keep him here as long as we can.
Okay, thanks very much, Neil. Congratulations. That's Neil Mose. He's the owner of Woodmere Jet. We're very happy to have brought this event to you across the Maritimes tonight, and of course we'd like to remind you as well that tomorrow afternoon a 16- program from here at Truro Raceway. It will start at 1 o'clock and we'll be back on the air again following that program 3 times at least from Charlottetown. 1 week from tonight, the first trials will go, then again on Monday the 10th, and of course the Gold Cup and Saucer on the 15th of August. So thanks. We'll give you another look at that replay. What a mile for Woodmere Jet, the Maritime Bred winning the 11th running of the Nova Scotia Provincial Exhibition Cup.